We are just checking that our stream is live or not, and we will start in a second.
Sure.
Yes, we are live. So, yes, we are live, and good afternoon, friends, and happy Janmashtami to everyone in India and in Netherlands and across the globe. To people celebrating Janmashtami today, we have this is the 22nd day of Career Pathshala, and we have crossed 3 weeks of continuous interaction with people from industry, mentors, a lot of alumni coming and talking as subject matter experts, and this journey of Career Pathshala is now in its last lap, where we intend to bring some of the best speakers and some of the people who can actually give you that last minute of preparation tips for not only your campus hiring for making a good career. So, to let me take this opportunity to introduce Sandeep Prasad from Amazon, and welcome Sandeep to Career Pathshala. And we really, it's an honor to host you and to have you at Career Pathshala. So, presently, Sandeep is working in Amazon at Amsterdam. Uh, Definitely, it would be and he's here to guide you with about the career prospects of freshers, how you can avail the opportunities. To give a brief background, Sandeep was among the first to get campus hired from a tier 2 college like a private college or where Amazon came for internship based campus hiring, and from a tier 2 college to Amazon directly as a campus hiring, working with people from IITs and ITs, and not only working but growing within the company in Amazon has been a great journey. It makes us proud to see Sandeep not only getting into Amazon with his two more colleagues but growing up. So once again, Sandeep, warm welcome from all the junior fraternity of engineering students and from your alma mater from CII Young Indians for taking out time coming on the show for guiding. A warm welcome to you, Sandeep.
Thank you, and it's been really. I'm really happy to be here, and happy Janmashtami to all. I hope all of them are doing good, and I would really like to take this opportunity to help you and guide you in whatever course you choose for the next year or year for career. I'll be happy to
Great.
answer the questions that you have, guys.
Sure. So, setting the context and talking about many students in after 12th, they apply for they write exams of JEE. They want to aspire to be a part of some of the premium institutions of the country. A large chunk of students write JEE and land up with not getting a choice of college, a choice of what they deserve, and somewhere it has been a debate about the marking patterns of JEE and how it comes and all. So that would be probably your thoughts when you came out of 12th and you probably were thinking something better and then you land up with making your choices. So we just want to know about your journey and into this context when people could not get their choice of college, how you made it to what you are today. So what was your self drive and self motivation?
Sure. So I can give you a brief about my background or my schooling and how I reached like whatever place I am in. So I am from Bhopal, so I did my entire schooling from St. Xavier's Bhopal, and like all the PCM students, I too had a dream of getting into IIT JEE, which unfortunately didn't happen, but that's okay. Like the road never ends there. So like I always say, and then probably when I got into LNCT, like we did have quite a big opportunity even in LNCT, and the point is like yeah, you are definitely not going to be at par with IITians or JE or like NITians, but the point is if you work hard enough, like good enough, and target to a specific stream, then definitely there's a very big scope for that. So I can give you like what I did, like I was preparing for some of the competitive exams like GATE and things like that, and which really focuses on the core of your subject domain, like whatever your particular stream is. Like for me, computer science or IT was my batch, so that's specifically where I targeted. I basically focus more towards the core subjects, which is data structures, algorithms, databases, which is something that I have been telling all along to all my juniors. And basically that's it. Like all the companies who really target to hire the freshers, this is the basic thing that they look for. They are not looking forward to any of the flashing things like maybe 10, 15 languages, but if you miss on the basic aspects of programming, which is like logical building or algorithms or data, then there's no point, right? So that's something that I really wanted to focus on and where I really invested my time in. And fortunately, we had an opportunity of Amazon coming into our campus under Anuj Garg sir and all of the other training and placement department. It was a good opportunity for all of us. And as I said, like most of the questions were driven towards these particular subjects. And then from there forward, we got an opportunity to do internship with Amazon during our eighth semester, which went pretty well in the sense that. Uh, for me personally speaking, I was only aware of a particular programming language, which was C. I was not aware of any other languages. Like I knew a bit and bits of like Java, but not much into many other like Spring framework or anything whatever we talk right now. But once you get into that with the given sort of environment, you start trending to learn all of these things with time. And that's how my journey has been. Then we did a lot of quite interesting work within those 6 months. We learned a lot of things. Like there were a couple of other people from our college. We did a lot of it was a good learning exposure for both all three of us. And from there we got a pre-placement offer as software developers in Amazon. And from there the journey has been pretty much like that for the last 4 years.
So quite a journey, and from St. Xavier's to close to St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
So it's amazing, and just wanted as you were talking about, I also remember the day of process of Amazon. So can we briefly talk about how was the process of Amazon? I remember it was a pen paper test,
Hmm.
and what was the stages at that time, just for the
Hmm.
um, setting the context कि क्या पूछा गया था आपसे, and what were the, I think there were multiple interviews, and
Yeah.
one going and taking you to the next panel, and then two people sitting, and then they are pulling you to the fourth person.
Hmm.
So how, if you remember?
Yeah, so since like for all the internship projects, like what they generally have is like we have like similar to what we have for other companies, we have first MCQ round where we were asked 50, 60 questions on all the basic concepts of data structures, algorithm, databases, Linux based systems, and which is primarily related to computer science. And once you clear that, then we had a coding round where they targeted a specific set of data structures where they wanted us to solve these sort of questions. I still remember I was asked questions on trees and linked lists, which paved the way for the interview round. So these two rounds, when they were conducted, I think only 50 to 60 people got selected into the coding round. And after that, I guess like then the numbers just went down after the coding round. Then the interview rounds are quite peculiar here. Like we had 3 rounds of interviews, like with each round lasting around an hour or something. And these rounds were specifically, they have a specific set of questions that they ask to check like if you are at par with uh, the specific bar that they have set against a specific role. And for me, the first interview went quite well. So they asked me more and more about normalizations, what we study in databases, which is quite visible in all database subjects that we learn during our course. And then there were many questions about Linux. So these were the first set of questions that were asked. They grilled me on that particular in that particular round. And the next round was quite on the competitive programming, like where they were testing the logical ability of a person, like are they able to crack logical questions or not. So that was something that they tested. And yeah, and then surely they asked me more about the project works that I've done, where I was able to convince with whatever I had in my place that it was a pretty good, like it was a project that I did by myself completely. I was able to convince that, and so kind of happened well. So, and then the next round was kind of more towards the manager round, where they asked more about like designing sort of questions from, let's say, class, oops based designing, the class designing, and let's say they'll give you a particular question. You have to design, let's say, Uber or Amazon or Google. So they'll ask you how you would break down the processes within each company, and how would you going to place it against, like how are you going to place your systems so that they interact with each other. And they just wanted to ask like how that entire architecture would look like. And in all, what was consistent all across all the interviews, where uh, the algorithms and the data structures, they play like a critical role, because that is something that they expect from a fresher. And they really don't ask like if you are aware of any flashy technology. Let's take for example machine learning. Yeah, it is definitely an add-on for you, but that will only get into picture first you once you crack all the basic constructs of programming. So yeah, so that's something, that's how that happened. And then probably after some round of discussions, we got the internships offer.
I think there's some network issue with Sandeep, and he'll be joining back. He's back.
uh,
It's okay. There's some
uh,
network. Yes. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I think there was some network issue.
okay, okay,
So
yeah.
you were telling about your last interview experiences.
Yeah, so the last round was pretty much the manager round, as I said, like, and it was more around designing and architecturing and like
Yes.
they're
Yes.
probably giving a specific domain, like let's say design Uber or design Amazon, and they're going to test like if you're able to place the relevant details around this, like are you able to place a specific like are you able to design things the way it should be. And that's something that they had tested. And then yeah, what was consistent is they are going to ask a lot of questions around data structures, algorithms, and databases if necessary, if you are applying for a software developer job. So that's going to be consistent. And once you are able to prove yourself in that particular aspect, then they're going to turn into more of your project based things and other technologies that you have excelled in. So yeah.
So quite an experience, and I remember it was quite late night, and you guys got the offer, and I think you were the first to be told, yes, you have been taken in, and that was a time when there was a lot of uncertainty. It's an internship offer, or will it be converted to a campus offer?
Yeah.
And were you believing that you could convert it to a campus offer? And what was honestly at that point of time appearing for Amazon? Yeah, how it will be all about.
While appearing for the interviews, I definitely didn't think that I'm gonna clear it. But as I said, right, if you clearly focus on the basic things, like they're not going to ask you like superficial and super fancy things to you. So they're going to ask you only the simple things. So yeah, if you keep your basics and the core things clear, then yeah, it should be okay. Like that's what I think. But yeah, even after getting like an internship offer, it's not guaranteed that you might get a full-time offer, because yeah, once you get into the company, you'll have to prove your mettle there. Like are you at par with all the other people who are working there or not? Like are you really in bar with all the things that the company expects you to do. So yeah, you need to perform pretty well there as well.
Sure. So, something on your the internship experiences, because as you said, so let's take the journey from there. You got into internship, so
Hmm.
now you are in between. You don't know whether you are a campus select
Hmm.
or you are a reject, and the chances, even you don't know how much are the chances. So, how internships in big companies like Amazon played a role with your story, if you can guide, and how different it was from a college coming up to a big city with a good stipend in hand.
Hmm.
So your आपके internship की journey किस समय का कुछ, if you can guide the students with that.
Okay, so I can tell you about mine. Like it is always like very overwhelming to be part of such internships. Like it at first seems like what is happening all around you because you are very new to the office culture. You don't know what exactly is happening, and then you see super smart people around you. It's going to be definitely very overwhelming at first, but when you start actually like after a couple of weeks, then it starts like you start soaking into that atmosphere, and then there are always people, mentors, and guides available to guide you. Like I'll be very honest, I didn't know any other programming language apart from C while joining Amazon, even as an uh, like uh, a fresher. But then what happened is like we start to learn a lot of things. You start to work on different programming frameworks, languages, let's say Java, Spring framework, front end sites, things like that. You edit these technologies, you start doing that, and you're given a specific set of projects to complete within a particular time. And you'll definitely get help all around because you are fresher. They don't expect much deliverables from you as such, but then definitely you need to prove that you're willing to do a lot of things and you are investing time in learning new aspects and new things. And yeah, you have to prove that you are willing to work and you are really willing to put hard work into what you're getting. And once you start delivering a couple of things, then you build the confidence. Like then you start interacting with people. You Yeah, that's another aspect. You need to interact with people quite properly, like properly in the sense you need to build good connections so that you also have good people at your hand. Like you whenever you need help, they are there to help you. They'll help you getting the things done. They'll help you with so many things. But yeah, ultimately it's on you. You need to develop your skills. You'd have to dive deep into many of the other like practices, software practices and things like by yourself.
So do you remember your boss calling in and telling you you've been now, and there was an incident I remember.
Hmm.
Said, oh, you were into internship, and I think you also had an offer from some other company, and as a day one company, bulk recruitment company coming in.
Yeah.
So I called you during the internship, and I told ki Sandeep boss,
Hmm.
by mistake I have said that
Yeah.
the company that you are not going to join. Your name was there.
Hmm.
We need to share the list of students who are not joining the company. So your name has gone. So
Hmm.
now your offer of that company is not holding. So I remember you said, Kisa, it's okay if I don't get an offer, I'll find some better place, but I'll not go back to the bulk recruiter. So
Hmm.
how was the time when you got to know that you have been offered now?
Like it feels very bad, of course. Like it feels like you're jobless because we don't have a certainty that I'm gonna get a pre-placement offer from Amazon. It was like very like very uncertain. But yeah, that actually helped me to actually invest more time in learning more. And so I used to lag around during late nights to at least get whatever I have in and whatever opportunity it was fine. But yeah, that definitely helped me in putting more efforts than the others so that like at least complete the gap whatever I was missing to get the pre-placement offer. But yeah, it was challenging, but yeah, it was kind of like overwhelming for me at that time.
So the moment you got to know that you are now your internship got complete. So how did they like announce the offer, and did you call, and how was your feeling at that time going back from St. Xavier's to finally getting, okay, now you're a part of Amazon? Like if you just for that inspirational moment, if you want to share.
Yeah, I remember like while we were in third semester and also I have a couple of friends who were in the same batch. We used to walk around that Sharma coaching classes. We used to go for data structure classes. We had no idea what he was teaching, but we used to walk around there coming back. And we used to say, bro, when are we going to get into big companies like Facebook or Amazon? Would we ever even get a chance? But then, this is the first thing that I remembered when I got to got from a manager telling me that you've been like getting a full time offer. So this is something that I remember till now. Like I mean, we being from two-tier college, it becomes very difficult to aspire so big. Like it is like not unachievable, but it is really a matter of opportunity. If you get opportunities, definitely all of us can do well. So that's something that I still remember and I talk with my friends.
Great. So next time when you're in Bhopal, we'll talk on the same. We'll walk on the same lane.
Yeah.
We'll tell people that yes. You could be a part of it anyway. So yes, thank you. You have been always supporting the alma mater, and today on the CII Young India Forum, coming up and talking openly to students, sharing your success mantras with the students so that they can inspire and walk the same steps, and probably be at a place somewhere you are or somewhere near to you. So, in this career Pathshala, Sandeep, we majorly focus on your advices कि एक fresher को from college, what are the skills they should look at. I was very much, I remember that a lot of subject knowledge you were talking about, gate studies, the syllabus is good, but people should learn it well. So, as a fresher, what skills companies look at the moment? प्रोडक्ट कंपनीज एक फ्रेशर के से आज के समय आपने 3 साल पहले किया, 4 साल पहले, अभी फ्रेशर से व्हाट आर द एक्सपेक्टेशन टू मेक अ लॉन्ग टर्म कैरियर इन आईटी, नॉट जस्ट a short term one, but a long term. So, what are the skill set or the requirements for freshers?
Okay, I can tell you about the experiences like that. I've seen like we were part of some of the interview panels where we were hiring interns from different colleges across, and so what happens is like the first thing, that first hurdle that all of them needs to clear is basically the basics of computer science, which is all along your career, like data structures. I've been pressing on this thing again and again. You need to be quite thorough with data structures, even if it's that in a very simple language, let's say C or Java, it doesn't matter, but you need to be very thorough with it. And then you need to be very agile with your algorithm. So for that you need to be very hands-on with lot of problem solving. You have to do that because that is the first step where a particular interview judges if you are even capable of solving such things or not. Like all the product companies, even of like if you take Facebook, Microsoft, Oracle, any company, this is the first step that they're going to see from a fresher. Are you aware of all of these things or not? At the time complexity, whatever you learn during your scheduled course, that is something that's going to come back to you even after 10 years. If we take interviews of people who are after 12 years, so this is something that's going to be there. Like if this is something that's going to be asked for a software development role always. So that's something that you need to focus. And the second thing that there's been a major trend shift is like people focus a lot on the projects that you are doing. So have you done any sort of project by yourself, in a sense, um, how did you experiment with so many things? So the reason why they do that is, are you open for experimentations? Are you open up for learning new technologies? That's something that they gauge from that particular questions. Like definitely having a good project that you have done independently with like little or no help from someone else, that's gonna add, and that is going to give you more confidence, appearing for many interviews. Because having a project with behind you, let's say you have some project and you put it on GitHub or some place and then put it on your LinkedIn, on your resume, that's gonna add charm to your resume. So that is also something that's the companies look forward to. And apart from that, each and every other company has a specific set of guidelines based on which they judge. Like it may be very different for different companies, but the underlying structure is like they're going to see if you are willing to invest time, learn things, and are you open for exposure, and are you actually interested in this particular thing. And so that's something, the basic things that's happening. I think I've myself given a couple of other interviews even after joining here, but yeah. So this is something that they expect even from a fresher.
So we have Shikha, our student representative. She has also joined in. Welcome, welcome, Shikha. So anything you want to
Yes, sir.
ask? Yes.
Yes, sir. First of all, welcome, sir, to the Career Pathshala. And I have one question that what personality traits should a fresher build in to work in an MNC?
Okay, yeah, I can answer that because like what I think is like this is just a personal opinion, but yeah, something that you need to really focus is on your communication skill, because the industry that we are really in, that really plays a good key part in your success and in your career forward. So nobody is asking you to say flashy English or anything like that, but good enough English so that you can communicate whatever is in you, is imparted into someone else, because that's something that you can build over the course of 4 years very easily. Like even if you take 1 year, that's something that you can do pretty easily. And then like the attitude that you show towards your work. Let's say somebody asks you about your project, so what they gauge you on is like, are you showing any willingness to learn outside of your purview of work? Are you able to grasp that or not? So things like that is something that people really look forward to. I hope that
Like,
answers your question.
yes.
Yes, sir. Sure,
So
sir.
a good cake without icing is not going to sell. So there should be some icing on the cake. Your personality, your traits, your confidence of talking, your interpersonal skills, and once you go
Mm,
into a multinational company, there's a lot of cross culture. There's a lot of
mm,
knowing yourself, and then speaking out fearlessly, meeting new people. So these are things. It's not just communication skill, but
mm.
the
Yeah.
ability to communicate in all possible ways. So a bit about it has been said, like Sandeep, I observed a lot of people getting into jobs, good jobs, but at times they don't grow in that job. So a lot of product companies, as is the theme of our topic also.
Mm,
So how they can, in their first years of their job,
mm,
what type of challenges are there? You're now suddenly billable, you have a pressure, and you also need to grow. You need to first survive,
mm,
then put yourself up, grow, and continuously be on the meet out the demands of your project, of your team, and shine higher.
mm.
So getting into is easier, surviving is difficult, and growing is really tough. So your words for people, because that is also an important advice which you can give very frankly with the students.
Yeah. So, to be very honest, it's like it's not just about the programming skills that you know or like how you deliver things. It's also about how you connect with people, because these that plays a very important role in like shaping up your career. Like even if you don't have like say super awesome coding skills or super awesome designing skills, it's okay. But what you need to do is you need to take people along with you, and you are willing to work with other people to get the things done, so irrespective of like you're super awesome or not. So that's something that you will learn by, like with time you're gonna learn like how do I say it, like uh, the moment you start interacting with a lot of people, you know like what different perception is. You are willing to intake lot many ideas. That's one step to move forward towards that. And what I see from in a lot of freshers and a lot of people is that like they tend not to switch even after a year or two, if even if they don't like the job, just to be on the safe side. But that's not gonna help. Like maybe it is going to be very fruitful in the short term, but eventually you have to switch your company within a year or two if that's not really helping. Even if that switch means internal switch or like let's say company switch, that's definitely going to give you a lot many insights about different processes, different things, because the IT industry is way too vast than what we think during what we are in college. Like we think that it's specific thing that we need to do. I just need to build this program and this is gonna solve a particular problem, but that's not how it looks like from the outside. But definitely it's much bigger than that. So you need to be really open to like grasping ideas from others, like taking people along with you, and always open to new opportunities. Like you shouldn't shy away from taking new responsibilities. Let's say some your manager needs this, yes, just step forward and get that done, and then definitely you can like move towards your career. Like let's say what are the trending things. Let's say you are very much interested in cloud software, but you can start learning that, you can start doing projects on that, and then probably apply for some job immediately if you're not happy with your current position. So that's something that I would say. I think Anuj is on a call. Maybe if you have some questions, Shikhar, you can.
Yeah,
No,
sir.
I'm not on a call. I'm not on a call. Yes. So
And
there is some requirements. So I was just hearing you about it, and very well said that how to grow about in the company. So also, Sandeep, we were talking about as a fresher now. Students are at their home. They cannot go to any classes, Sharma Verma or any classes. So now, how they can use this online as an opportunity to learn some good resources which you can recommend for self learning, so that
Hmm.
students can develop their profile for the product company
Hmm.
like Amazon or any other company, and some good sites for maybe for taking tests, from certification and for learning.
Okay. Like from programming, competitive programming wise, like there are many sites like let's say Geeks for Geeks, Lead Code, Hacker Earth, or like there are many sites, but you need to stick to a one particular thing and start doing solving the questions. And like whatever you are coding, maybe you can upload it to let's say GitHub or some place. Just start doing that, and then there are many sites where you can learn about I remember there's an NPTEL site where I used to study about the basic things, so that is something very helpful because that gives you an in-depth understanding of the basic core things of your subject. So that's one thing to do, to learn these basics and then apply it onto all the coding sites. Like Lead Code is something that I would ask people to join, and Geeks for Geeks is also kind of a good site which can be used for solving so many problems. So if you go into these sites, right, they can give you a proper insight about like how the interview experience is. For example, for Google, they'll say these are the rounds, these are the questions that they ask, because there are many questions that they ask outside of even outside of programming, right? So you can get a proper insight about these things, like the each round lasts for this, then this is happening after this, these are the things that they expect. So that these two sites are quite recommendable, and you can start like if you're pretty much interested in this gives you a proper insight about all the big companies and what questions they're going to ask. So all the companies, they I can really tell that they have a definitive set of questions which then are reiterated again and again to all the other people appearing for the interview. So there is a high chance that if you go through these questions, they might you might be asked the same question. So yeah, these two sites are going to be really helpful.
So we were talking about the culture of a multinational company, and you may be having. So we just also want to know how your company's culture is. Amazon office in Hyderabad is definitely in news, and it has been
Hmm.
in a big way news. So how the culture of companies like Amazon is, and how
Hmm.
easily you are approachable to your seniors, and how what type of learnings and
Hmm.
that fascinates people to be a part of companies like Amazon.
Yeah. So one of the good things about a company like Amazon is you get space to develop yourself. When I say that, like you get to innovate on so many things. There's no particular restriction on any sort of technology. Like at least if you are into software development, you don't really have to worry about any sort of technology. You're given a problem statement or a business statement. You need to solve it. Nobody cares what technology are you using, but you just need to present like this is my idea, this is I'm going to do. If the senior people who are always there for your guidance, they'll tell you yes, this looks good, they're definitely going to ask so many questions, like cross question you, why did you choose this, why is this way, this and that. But that's always a growing, like a learning opportunity for you. And uh, so that's something that I'm trying to say like you don't have to restrict yourself to a particular technology for the time, for like just for instance, like all the software industries are moving towards cloud based technologies for all of the like product development. So here as well, like you get to choose between multiple services provided by cloud services to shape up your development and shape up your designs and things like that. So that's apparently how the tech work culture is. But then also you work with many people, senior people who are from different organizations. I remember like we used to have people from Oracle, we used to have people from IITs. That is all kind of a learning experience for someone who is from a two-day college. So it really is good. But then at the end of the day, it is like a profitable company. So yeah, you're going to have a lot of challenging tasks. You're going to compete against your peers, you'll have to prove your metal. But if you're quite honest with your things, then I don't think it should be any problem for you. So it's just that you need to be quite focused towards your work beats, and also have like it's not just like just be very much geeky and be into the computer, but also you need to start interacting with people, you need to start build relationships with people, because you start exploring when you, let's say if you want to switch, all these connections are definitely going to help you. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think most of the companies are like, I'm just
So also just wanted to understand how this COVID is going to bring a change, because there's going to be a more pressure on companies like Amazon, Google. the business suddenly needs more of IT demands, and the entire commerce, e-commerce, and lot of the buying patterns of people, especially at a lower level to higher level. The malls are not being operational full, so
Mm,
that is bringing a lot of challenges and pressure on companies like Amazon, Google,
mm,
and many others who have been into this field. So, how is the present change in the scenario bringing any change in the company culture or demands? And we are also hearing a lot of operations and business coming to India. But we want to talk more about how technology change and what would be the new line of business and technology change with the COVID
mm.
scenario.
Definitely, like if you let's say, if I be very specific about Amazon, you can see there's a growing demand for online e-retail. You see a lot of other markets being coming into picture. Let's say you might know about Geo bringing so many things. So online retail, e-commerce, financials, everything is getting online. So there's definitely a lot of pressure and lot of how do I say, lot more expectations from these companies. And for to cater to such needs, there's a growing demand for software engineers, like proper qualified engineers who can make up that particular demand. So, like as you might all be aware of, like you getting visa law restrictions in United States. There's been so many job opportunities that were being targeted to US now are being shifted to, let's say, India. You can see like major company plays like Amazon, Google, Facebook. They're setting up their offices in major cities with 30,000 capacity, which brings in like 30,000 software engineering graduates are eligible for applying to such places. So the as the demand increases, there's definitely a rise in the opportunities for you as a fresher to capture that. But it's just that you need to start exploring, like you need to start seeing where your opportunity lies. Like even if you have like a year or 2 years of experience, which is kind of raw experience, like, and you can definitely switch from one particular technology to another. Let's say, I see when like for most of the service-based companies, what happens is if a particular guy, a girl is targeted to a specific technology, they kind of embed themselves to that, and they really don't move from that particular technology. Let's say you're working on SAP and you don't tend to work. You spend like 5 to 6 years, but after 5 to 6 years, it becomes quite difficult to switch from that context to proper software development. So right now, so here the kind of opportunities that we have all around, it is quite good. Like even if after a year of experience, even in a particular technology, it's like the raw time for you to switch and switch to these companies, because they have a growing demand, and definitely the bar is also going to stay the same. But you need to upgrade yourself with the new technologies and new skills. You need to start learning things, be adaptive to what is happening around the world. So yeah.
So very true about it. And there's also one thing very common nowadays, like the students who are coming out of college, they more focus on new edge technologies, like they are more into, let's learn cloud, AI, data science, or the IoT,
Hmm.
and at times they compromise on their basics of data structure, DBMS, software engineering,
Hmm.
project management.
Hmm.
So, what is your advice for students? Like, how much balance, or I think, what is the priority uh, as per you, the core subject knowledge, or uh, adding more of ice and less of cake?
I would definitely press again. Like your basics are going to be there for with you forever. If you're into software development, that's even going to be there. Even after 10 years, you'll be asked questions on data structures and the basics that you have learned during your engineering course. But it's just that you need to enhance it so well that you are able to sell it to your interviewers. So that's, you should always focus first on that, and then probably add more technologies or more, let's say, machine learning might seem very enticing. You might start doing many things on that, but at the end of the day, that's not what the recruiters are looking at, because you'll anyway learn it. If you have learned it during your college days, then yeah, you'll anyway learn it while you're at the company. So what they're looking at is, are your basics strong enough to compete with all the other peers that you have in your company or not. So yeah, I'll definitely say it again. You need to keep your basics very strong, and then probably based on the evolving technologies, you can upgrade yourself as and when you need that.
a very important piece of advice for students, and to have the basics and then take it forward. So I'll take one question. It is coming, and he wants to know more about your preparedness for the company. क्या strategy आपने बनाई थी, इस तरह की तैयारी करी कि Amazon जैसी कंपनी में आपका हुआ, and you have given each to competitive programming development path. So, like, how was your preparation? He's asking about interview experience. You already shared, so it's a repetition. But as a fresher, how much time, and on what proper subjects should be given more time? If you can a bit touch upon how much of software engineering, how much of ingredients of software engineering, operating systems, and all put together will result in the Sandeep Prasad, who is a part of Amazon.
Yeah, sure. So major things are like, I remember I used to prepare for this gate examination, and as you know, right, that exam contains about only those courses which are part of your curriculum. So all you need to do is brush up your knowledge. You know everything. It's just that enhancing that. Let's say you just don't restrict yourself to theoretical things. Theoretical things you might know about. You might know about a lot so many things like I have to use linked list, but if you don't know how to apply, if you have given a problem statement, if you don't know how to apply it, then it doesn't matter if you know that in a theoretical way or not, right? So the first thing is like what I did is like I used to solve as many questions I could get, like based on trees, tries, linked list, hash map, things like that. So these are things which you really need to focus on. That's what I try to do, and it kind of helped me because the questions that were asked to me in the interviews, they were similar kind that I had prepared like prior to giving the interview. That's one. And then let's talk about operating systems and things like that, right? So they are all going to be very helpful to you if you are anyway learning it for your exam. Just try to brush it up to a level that you know it completely, like you know what is exactly expected out of what what you are actually learning. So that's something that I would also say. And these are all the basic things that you need to do, and you need to solve hundreds of questions again and again and again and again. And then there are a repetitive pattern of questions that all the companies ask. So if you're lucky, then that will definitely be asked. So I was lucky enough that a couple of questions that was asked to me I was already aware of, so I could answer that pretty quickly. So that only comes with like many coding challenges being solved. You have to spend a lot of time solving these questions, and you'll definitely reach a time when you don't really have to look for, like, even if you are given a new statement based on your past experiences, you can easily tamper that question, like easily solve that question. I hope that answers.
Also, Sandeep, like people are usually fascinated between and a bit confused. They probably when they will settle in a good company or a job, they look at, let's do a master's or a PG program in engineering or MBA, or maybe mostly into engineering. The background is there. That is how is your thought process? Because I think you also have quite a good experience now.
Hmm.
So, and you might also have a similar confusion, or your friends.
Hmm.
Should I take a break or a sabbatical, and
Hmm.
uh, or should I do it? It should be a should thing, or it could be a good thing of taking a break, of going for PG, or is it a requirement, or it's a call a person has to take. So sometimes that is also very bit confusing for people.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing, not a should thing, because it depends upon how you are spending your time. Like spending, if, let's say for a year and a half you have been working tremendously, you might have gained enough knowledge that you don't really require to go do and masters again. Because what are you going to learn there if you invest that time learning all these things? If you know that this is what I expect out of masters, you can definitely do that while being at the same company. And you need to be very clear, like what are you actually expecting out of that masters? Are you looking for some research sort of work? Are you looking to like get a good job with a good pay? That should be the point of motivation if you really want to go there or not. If you're just expecting a good pay, then if you have gained enough knowledge, if you have learned enough knowledge, you can definitely take a switch and go to any company like that. But if you are just doing if you want to do some, let's say into a specific domain or a specific research field, then I would say yes, it might make sense. But if your ultimate motivation is to just get a good job based on uh, what most of the people think is like just doing masters would guarantee that you can definitely get a good job, but it's not always the case. You have to work hard there, you'll have to brush up your skills there. That is something that you can do even while you are at this company, that you wherever you are, you can still brush it up and you can learn so many things. That's what my personal take is, because I learned enough. What I think is, I've kind of learned enough of the things which I couldn't have learned if I have would have went into like masters. So like working in a company definitely gives you another layer of exposure. It's not just about programming or solving a particular problem. It also talks about your business, because each company is anyway driven by business. It gives you business insights and things like that. It helps you grow overall. So yeah.
A very important and a piece of advice from Sandeep, that we should, if in working is also a learning, and when you work, you learn. And in fact, it's like you learn very relevant with the customer needs. And I think a master's take an year or two, and but working for clients, finishing a project is equivalent to a master's. And there are a lot of online good opportunities which you can avail while uh, working also. So, Sandeep, it has been quite a very informative session, and we would like, we really thank you for giving so much insights into it. And final comments for the people who are in COVID times in India. A lot of hopes for campus placements and career opportunities, people who have passed out of college, who are in their first and second years of college. So your final concluding remarks for career Pathshala. And really, I was talking to Sandeep that things in Netherlands, especially in Amsterdam, are getting normal. Like COVID scenario, they're coming up with it. And now with hearing the second wave probably hitting, but India being a country with such a big population, the opportunities, and we were talking that if a UPSC exam is conducted in Amsterdam, people would not make so much commitment for studying and clearing it. The type of competition the Indian youth is facing and preparing, we really respect that talent. Such type of talent across the globe is not available. The type of commitment towards their future, the investment our youth is doing. And we definitely hope India, being a digital superpower, will get more opportunities for the kids and a better opportunities. So your concluding remarks for your juniors for making a good time career, and meeting you in person sometimes. So your
Yeah.
final concluding remarks.
I would say these are like exciting times for all of us. Just don't lose hope, and you just you just need to do what you are required to do. Just keep doing that, and definitely you will land up somewhere really good. And just don't lose hope. Like, it's pretty normal once you get into company, you get frustrated very easily. Then you try to switch careers altogether. But it's not just that. Like, with this COVID things coming up, it's quite evident that opportunities within so many companies are going to come again back to India, and you'll have a lot of opportunities. Just try doing the good work. Like, being at home, it is a luxury. I used to tell my brother, like, he had like 6 months to shape up his career, learn new things, which he never does, but still it's a good opportunity for all of you guys to do. Like, being at home, it's just a luxury, right? So rather than spending most of the time on Netflix, just like do that, but still keep doing interesting things. Start building some projects and things like that. Not being a super nut, but still, if you really expect you have to give one push in your life, it's good if you can do that route. Let's say if you get placed into a super awesome company right now, your life is gonna be pretty smooth going forward. Like, otherwise, and that's what we advise. Utilize your time properly. If you have the opportunity to do so many awesome things, just do it when you have the time. Trust me, after getting into job, you might not get these luxurious times at all.
Very true. So, thank you, Sandeep. And we are at the closure of our event. Shikha, your vote of thanks. And before we close,
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. First of all, I got a little bit late, So, but at last, I would just say it was a really very informative session. And with your words that utilizing our time and just trying and try and try. And we were very delighted to have you here, sir. And thank you so much for joining in. And I hope all the students who are looking in the same stream, in the same field, will get motivated and will get a clear sight on their fields. So thank you so much, sir, for joining in, and we're fortunate enough to have you here. Thank you.
Yep. No worries.
Thanks, Sandeep. Your journey inspires a lot of students that opportunity is not limited to the name of college, but to the talent you carry. And आप कुछ भी हो, कहीं भी हो, आप अपना knowledge बढ़ाते चलिए. The world is open. You can get opportunities anywhere through your college, through a lot of coding contests, through hackathons, and try reaching to people whom you know. Maybe you can reach out to Sandeep on LinkedIn, and that is where I just connected with him, and he said, "Sir, let me also." It was so nice of him with his so much work pressure, living alone at Amsterdam, and still he made it. Let me go back and help my students there, and it's really feel proud that yes, he made it to campus placement in Amazon, because it's not an easy thing, and then growing there, and we really thank you, uh, Sandeep, up for coming in, sparing time, and be safe. And thank you so much, Sandeep, for being here.
Yep, no worries. All the best, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So, friends, we will be having a very special show tomorrow with Indian Air Force, career in Indian Air Force. This will not be a recorded session; it will be only live as per the security norms. We will be deleting the video after the broadcast in our Facebook and YouTube channels, in all the Facebook channels and YouTube videos where it is. So we meet you at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time sharp. So, guys, those who want to know more about Rafael, let's talk about and hear from the people who are driving. So, all are invited at a pre-launch of our Independence Day to celebrate the power our Indian Air Force has made. So, I'll be waiting for you to meet you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you, Shikha, and thank you, Career Parshala. Signing off for today. Thank you so much.